In this video, we are going to see a concept of marketing and marketer. So this particular concept is under the Unit 5 of the Standard 12 Summer Cheat textbook, Elements of Marketing. So first, let's get into the video. That is, we are going to see about the meaning and definition of what is a market. So the meaning of the word market. So first of all, this is derived from the Latin word called marketus, which means trade, commerce, merchandise, or a place where business is transacted. Simple, where they buy and sell goods. So the term market can be defined by many authors. So we are going to see the definition of market through Clark and Clark. So what they have defined is a market is a center or an area in which the forces leading to exchange title to a particular product operate and towards which the actual goods tend to travel. So Clark and Clark has defined a market as a place, as a center where the activity of exchange of goods take place and the goods also travel towards that particular activity. So from the above definition, it is very clear that market means a place where buyers and sellers come together for a transaction, an organization through which the exchange of goods take place, and it is where the act of buying and selling of goods also take place. So an market is an area of operation of commercial demand for the commodities. That is, there you will have the demand for that particular commodity at a very high level. So next, let's see what is this need for this particular market. So the need for the market is one, to exchange the goods and services. So previously we had barter system, so the goods has to be exchanged in turn to get the required goods from the other person. So for the exchange of goods and services. Secondly, to adjust the demand and supply by price mechanism. So after the invention of money, they started the term called price mechanism, where prices are tagged into each and every goods. So to adjust the demand and supply of the goods, market has to function to improve the quality of life of the society. So when various products are available, the customers will go in for buying the product, which in turn will improve the quality of life of the society. Fourth, to introduce new modes of life. So as the market develops, new inventions, new methods or new products come into the society. Therefore, it introduces the society to a new and modern life. Lastly, it is to develop product by enhancing market segments. So by enhancing, that is by improving the market segments, it will develop new products. So next, let's go into the classification of market. So the classification of market is divided into 8 parts. So it is basically classified on the basis of area, goods, economics, transaction, regulation, time, volume and importance. So let's get into this in detail. Let's look into the classification of market on the basis of geographical area. So this basis of geographical area is again divided into two types of market, that is family market and local market. So let's see what's a family market. So family market is nothing but a market which exists within the family or close members of the family. So the exchange of goods and services are confined or are limited within the family members only. So such a market is called a family market. So let's see what is a local market. So participation of buyers and sellers belonging to the same locality, area or town or a village is called a local market. So the demand for these types of market is very limited. For example, perishable goods like fruits, vegetables, etc., that only will be sold in this market. But strictly speaking, such markets are actually disappearing because of the development of transport. So now people travel and buy goods and services where it is being manufactured or where its demand is at the high. So these kind of local markets are slowly disappearing because of transportation and communication. So but then even in many villages, small markets like these local markets exist even today. So the next type of market on the basis of geographical location is the national market. So in the national market, certain type of goods have created a national level demand for themselves. So these goods have to be transacted on the national level, that is within the or throughout the country. So that is called as a national market. So why this has been created is again because of the development of transport and communication. So goods are being transacted from one country to the other corner through transport and communication facilities, which has been developed well in India. Therefore, national market is there for almost all the goods in India. The last one in the classification on the basis of geography is international or the world market. So, world market is one where the buyers and sellers of the goods are from different countries. That is, the buyers and sellers involve themselves beyond the boundaries of their nation to buy and transact on a particular goods or service. Next, let's look into the basis of commodities or goods. That is a classification of market on the basis of commodities and goods. So, the basis of commodity of goods is divided into two divisions. That is on the basis of commodity and on the basis of capital. So, on the basis of commodity or the products, the market has been divided into three types: product exchange market, manufactured goods market, and the bullion market. So, let's first see into that in depth and then let's move into the capital market. So, commodity market. So, what is this commodity market? It is a place where produced goods or consumption goods are being sold, right? So, first let's get into the product exchange market. So, product exchange market, it is a market where commodities or agricultural products are being sold. So, in this product, the commodity dealt with be a very single commodity will be in this market, a single commodity will be dealt with. It is regulated and controlled by certain rules and regulations. For example, the flour market, the goat market, the cattle market, or the horse market, where that particular commodity alone will be sold. Next, we have is the manufactured goods market. So, the manufactured goods market is a market where the manufactured goods are being sold. For example, leather, or manufactured machinery. Thirdly is the bullion market. So this type of market deals with the purchase and sale of gold and silver. The best example of these markets are from Mumbai, Kolkata, and Kanpur. So next let's move on to the capital market. This capital market is also on the basis of goods or commodities. So this capital market is again divided into money market, foreign exchange market, and stock market. So, capital market in the sense where new industries start, they need capital so they can reach out to the public and get loans as capital. So, this market is divided into three types, that is money market, foreign exchange market, and stock market. So let's see what is the money market. So money market is where short-term securities are exchanged for short-term loans. So it provides short-term and very short-term financial loans to the industries, banks, or government agencies. Right. Next is the foreign exchange market. So this helps out the importers and exporters to exchange their currencies into foreign currencies and vice versa. Thirdly is the stock market. So this is a market where purchase and sale of shares, debentures, bonds of the new companies or the existing companies are dealt with. So this is also known as the stock exchange or the stock market, right? So the famous examples of the stock exchange is the Mumbai exchange and the Kolkata, the Chennai, etc. So these are the best examples of these types of market. Next is the classification on the basis of economy. So, on the basis of the economy of the society, how the classification is done is on two types: perfect market and the imperfect market. So, let's see what is a perfect market. So, a market is said to be perfect when it satisfies certain points. The points are: large number of buyers and sellers must be there. Secondly, the prices should be uniform throughout the market. Thirdly, the buyers and sellers have a perfect knowledge about the market. Fourthly, goods can move from one place to another without any restrictions. And lastly, the goods are identical or homogeneous. So we should remember that such types of markets are rarely found because a large variety of goods are available for our consumption now. So these kind of perfect markets are very rare to find. The second type on the basis of economies is imperfect market. So this is a type of market which is available everywhere. So this is said to be an imperfect market because products are similar but they are not identical. Prices are not uniform, so the prices tend to change from product to product, and there is a lack of communication in this particular market, and the restriction on the movement of goods is also there. So this is a type of market which is prevailing in our current society. The classification of market on the basis of transactions. So it is divided into two types, that is spot market and future market. So spot market is a place where the exchange of commodities and the release of payment is done immediately at the place where it is being exchanged, purchased or sold. Where future market is a market where contracts are made, okay, over the price for future delivery, and the settlement also takes place at the future date. Next is on the basis of regulations. So regulations in the sense laws which determine the market. So this is divided into two types, regulated market and unregulated market. So if you take the regulated market, these are types of market which are organized, controlled and regulated by a set of laws or statutory measures. So it's called a regulated market. So the famous example is a stock exchange. Whereas if you see unregulated market, they do not come under any law or any statutory measure. So this is also known as a free market, where there is no control over the price, supply, demand, commission, quality, etc. So the demand and supply of these market will determine the price which is dealt with in this market for that particular good. Next classification is on the basis of time. So there are three types on the basis of time, that is very short period market and the long period market. So when you take a very short period market, the type of goods which are dealt here is the perishable goods. So because it has a very short period of time of existence, so there is no exchange of goods involved in this market after the operation of sales, and the price is determined on the basis of demand for that particular product. Secondly is a short period market. So short period market is where certain goods are adjusted according to the supply and demand of that particular market. In this market, if you see, for normal cases, the demand is greater than the supply. So such markets are called as short period market. Lastly was a long period market. So long period market is mostly for the durable goods which are being used for a long period of time. So the goods which are dealt here always have a usage for a long period of time. Next is on the basis of importance. So on the basis of the importance, it is divided into three types of market: primary, secondary and terminal market. So primary market in the sense where farm products are being sold through these types of markets to the wholesalers and retailers, or the wholesalers or the consumers. So such markets are found in villages, and mostly the products arrive from the villages. Secondly is the secondary market. So this market deals with semi-finished goods which are being marketed. The finished goods are not sold here, whereas the dealings are commonly between the wholesaler and the retailer. Next is a terminal market. So a terminal market is a market which is situated in terminal hubs or transportation centers. So goods are brought into the transportation centers for buying and selling purposes.